Do it again. Welcome back to this latest edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories found here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the stories for the day off the wires and other Native American news sources. Authorities say a Western New York sheriff apparently committed suicide by shooting himself. State police said Tuesday that Cattaraugus County Sheriff Dennis John apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities says John's body was found outside a car on a logging trail in the small town of Cold Spring, about 55 miles south of Buffalo, New York. Troopers say it doesn't appear that foul play was involved and the investigation is continuing. According to the New York State Sheriff's Association, John, a member of the Seneca Nation, was the first American Indian to hold the office of sheriff in the state of New York. Then Governor George Pataki named him to the post in the year 2005, 24 years after he had joined the department. A claim by the Ottawa Tribe of Oklahoma that it should be given commercial fishing rights on Lake Erie without government restrictions was rejected. A federal court of appeals in Ohio said in a ruling released this last Tuesday. The tribe gave up its fishing rights when it moved out of northwestern Ohio in the early 1800s. The 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Cincinnati ruled. The tribe filed a lawsuit 4 years ago against the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, saying that the state shouldn't be allowed to regulate or limit the tribe's fishing rights based on a treaty that was signed 200 years ago. It told the state it wanted Ohio to recognize its fishing rights and intended to use gillnet fishing in Lake Erie, a practice that is generally illegal in those states and in that region. The state argued that the tribe's complaint was based on a treaty that had nothing to do with Lake Erie or fishing rights. The city of Duluth, Minnesota says it plans to go to court to force the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior Chippewa to keep sharing revenue from its downtown casino. The band and the city reached the revenue-sharing deal in 1986 when Duluth allowed the downtown property to become federal trust land. Since then, the band has given the city 19% of its gross revenue from slot machines. However, the band stopped making those payments a couple of weeks ago. Tribal chairwoman Karen Diver told the Duluth News Tribune the band finds the agreement exploitive and wants to review its legality. The band paid the city about $7 million last year and $80 million since 1986. The band's casino receives police, fire, and public services from the city of Duluth. The Mashpee Wampanoag tribe will hold a swearing-in ceremony for the tribe's 3 new Supreme Court justices. Chief Justice Henry Sockbeeson, Justice Robert Mills, and Justice Rochelle Ducheneau will be sworn in on Monday, August 24th at the tribe's executive offices in Mashpee. All 3 justices were recommended by the tribe's elders Judiciary Committee and approved by the tribal council. Henry Sockbeeson, who is the Chief Justice, will hear the majority of the cases and assist the tribe as it further develops its sovereign judiciary system. He's a member of the Penobscot Indian Nation and a graduate of Harvard Law School, has practiced Indian law for more than 25 years. Robert Mills is a graduate of Boston College and Boston College Law School and is an active Mashpee Wampanoag tribal member and a partner at Wine Law Firm in Cape Cod, where he has worked as an attorney for nearly 20 years. Rochelle Ducheneau, who has served as an internship judge for the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe since last year, is a member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe and has extensive experience in Indian law. As part of the governor's northern tour, a representative of the Wisconsin Governor's Doyle's administration will be visiting rehab rental homes on the Menominee Reservation today. Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority, or WEDA, Executive Director Antonio Riley is visiting homes on the Menominee Housing with the Menominee Housing Authority that have been rehabbed with resources made available from the WEDA program. He will also see examples of older housing stock that will be renovated soon thanks to 2 new tax credit allocations. As a successful recipient of more than $17 million in low-income housing tax credits allocated by the Wisconsin WIDA, the Menominee Housing Authority will have rehabbed 131 units of housing for residents of the reservation by the time they're completed with their most recent projects. Wings of America has been informed by the Santa Fe, New Mexico city officials that the New Mexico Rail Runner Express will be running on August 23rd. Therefore, it is impossible for Wings to ensure the safety of their fun run and walk that is going to be on August 23rd. That last-minute notification did not allow enough time for Wings to revise its planning for a different route, and therefore the SWAIA 2-mile fun run and walk has been canceled. They're trying to make sure that everyone who's headed in that direction for the run on the 23rd hears about its cancellation. Wings wants to thank all volunteers and sponsors who committed to providing snacks, door prizes, and printing, and the pre-registration fees will be returned. The first Madeline Island Anishinaabe gathering is scheduled for Friday and Saturday, September 25th and 26th at La Pointe, Wisconsin, on the island there. The gathering will focus on sharing and reflecting on the island's importance to the Anishinaabe, once known and as its ancient homeland there for several hundred years. Through an exchange of stories and historical information and visioning for the future, participants will consider ways to maintain cultural continuity through the next 7 generations. Key presenters include Winona LeDuc, Joe Rose Sr., Toba Sanaquet, Dr. Rick St. Germain, Robert Van Zyl, and Henry Buffalo Jr. So hopefully we'll all see you there. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this issue of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this program and you for joining with us again. Smile because you're having a great day.